start now. So good day, everyone. Good day, good morning, good evening, wherever you're in the world. Welcome to another Excel section brought to you by UrBizEdge. So for today's session, we'll be having Spotify music analysis. It's also hosted by myself, Temidayo Omoniyi, and this for the music lovers, the music and data analyst lovers. So I'll just tell you about a little bit about ourselves, the company I work for, UrBizEdge. UrBizEdge is a registered Microsoft Excel consultant, financial modeling, business intelligence, data analysis, and enterprise solution firm here in Nigeria. We also specialize in helping companies and high-value professionals be on top of the business data. We're also the developer of some financial tools such as the Nigerian Finance Market Analysis tool, which you can find on Microsoft Office Store. We're also the developer of Nigerian Stock Analysis Dashboard and so many other dashboard and financial analysis tools you can also find in Microsoft Store and other Play Store, another Microsoft Store actually. As you all know, we're also a training company. So I'll just give a brief description about myself. So I'm a Microsoft Certified Data Analyst with over 3 years experience. I'm also a Microsoft Certified Trainer. I have passion in sharing knowledge, helping and mentoring young data analysts, and also develop custom solutions in Microsoft Office. I enjoy creating educative content for UrBizEdge YouTube channel and other platforms. You can also find me on Microsoft forums. I enjoy writing codes and also automating process using Microsoft Power Automate. So you can follow me on Twitter with KiddoJazz. You can also follow me on GitHub with also KiddoJazz, and also follow me on LinkedIn with Temidayo Omoniyi. So you can also connect on LinkedIn. So I will go right into the section fully. Since this section is recorded, I'll give everyone all the link you guys will be needing for the section itself. Because most time we have most for data Excel folks, so that's why I think that's why most people are not around, because of this. They're more into Excel. So we're just trying to go into other things, because we also teach Python, SQL, and other things. So I will share my screen again. Just give me a second. I want to open the right tab. Okay. I have some sensitive. I'm working on some documents. Okay. Yep. So if you can see my screen, can you just put in the chat box yes? I can see Triumph and Gloria is in. Okay, thank you for coming, Ellie. Okay, so for this section, right, I'll be doing Spotify data analysis. I also have the GitHub repo for this. So for some of you that might be interested, I want to go along with me. Let me just give you the GitHub repo. So I'll copy this for you guys, and you guys can just walk along. So I actually documented each process. So I'll just copy the link. I'll paste it in the group chat. Okay, awesome. All right, thanks, Triumph. For some of you want to go along with me, I've sent you the GitHub link, the GitHub repo for this section, and I'll start right about now. Okay, so we all know Spotify, which is one of the most popular music streaming platform in the world. I use a lot of Apple Music actually, but I also use Spotify once in a while. So I want to show you how you can analyze your Spotify data. For some of you that you love music a lot, like me, I'm actually a big fan of Afrobeats. So I'll show you how you can analyze your Spotify data. So the first thing you need to create a Spotify developer account. This basically gives you access to what the APIs. That's the Spotify API. The same way you create a developer account in Twitter, the same way you create a developer account on Reddit or Binance or any other platform, you're also going to create a developer account also on Spotify. So I'll click on this link. So the GitHub repo I give, I'll explain each step one after the other. So this is the first thing to do. You need to create a developer account. So I'll send this to everyone here. It's up account. So when you open the developer account, first thing you need to log in. You need to log in first, right? So when you log in, you come here. So let me just check some of the document. Let's check the web API document now. Okay. So from the web API, let's go to the endpoint. This endpoint over here. Right? So I'll go to the endpoint. So the endpoint just gives you what you have. If you have the Twitter, the Spotify developer account, these are the things you have access to. So you can see from the endpoint over here, right? I have different things here. Right? You can see I have albums. I have access to the artist. So I can have access to artist data, the show, the track, the search. The search is actually very important here. So you can search for some specific kind of artist you like. Like me, I'm a big fan of Burna Boy and Wizkid, so don't mind me. I just love Afrobeats. You can also get some playlists. some category, your general players and market, right? So let's go to the search first of all. Let's go to get. So this just basically shows you. So this is how the request sample looks like over here, right? You can always copy it here. You can always click on this button to copy it over here. This is basically how the request, and this is how the API request looks like. So when you copy this, right, it just gives you, it's actually, they have a very nice documentation with the APIs. It's very, very nice. They have a very nice documentation with the API. So this way it gives you, you see all the things you have access to over here, which is actually very cool. But since we don't want to start writing long lines of codes and everything, so let's just go to the dashboard. So go to the dashboard, which is over here, right? So I need to just log in. So for you to log, you have to have a a Spotify account. So when you log in, you just need to just go to create an app. Very simple. Just go to create an app. So this one will just give you 2 tokens. So if I click on create an app, I can put my app name, I can put a description, I can create, but I won't do that because I already created an app, which is test app here. So I'll click on my test app. You can see, right? I have access to my client ID. This is my client ID over here. So for my client ID, I also have what? My secret, my client secrets. I won't show you guys my clients because of security reasons. I won't show you guys. So I have to, I'm meant to have 2 clients, right? I'm meant to have my client ID and also my client secret. And also the Spotify, they have a very, very good dashboard analysis. So it is basically tell you how much you've used the whole API. You can see that it show me like a dashboard. Okay, my daily active usage. You can see my daily active usage over here. I think I first did it like 23rd of last month. Yeah. You can see how many users. It's only 1 user. That's my test app, right? Number of requests / endpoints. You can see the endpoints and requests I've used. So it just basically gives you a very nice visual representation, like more of like an analysis of you or what you've been using. I also have like my number. I can number of user per countries, right? So the 2 things I need my client ID. So if I click on show client secret, it will show me my client secret, but I don't want to show because of it's the training, it's my own personal client secret. So if you're doing it yourself, you keep it in a somewhere very, very private. You don't want anyone to use it. So I'll go back to the code. For some of you that are just join, I'll copy again. I'll copy the code. So I've already put it in my GitHub repo. For some of you that want to go along with me, I'll paste it again here. Okay. So let's start now fully. Okay, I just basically explained everything. I said you first of all, you need a Spotify developer account. I've explained how you do it, right? So one of the things you need also, you need a library. The library you're going to need is called Spotify. It's called Spotify. It's actually a library that is used to connect to the Spotify API. So I'll just copy this. So for some of you want to install it for the first time, just go to Google, google.com. I'll say pip install Spotify. So this is going to give me how I will install it. Right? Let me check something first. Just give me a second. I'll check if I'm recording this section. Okay, I'm recording. Cool. So now I have this here, right? So I can just copy this and I can install it using my CMD. That's my command prompt. Right. So I'm using environment for mine. So I'll just activate TensorFlow. I'm actually using a virtual environment. So okay, cool. So pip install Spotify. Already, so I've actually installed it before, so it won't waste time. Yeah, cool. So I can say Python, just check if it's properly installed. I can say import Spotify. Cool. Let's see. And cool. You can see that it didn't give me any error. It went straight forward, right? Because this is no error. So that means I've properly installed it. So I can go back to my Jupyter notebook. This is my Jupyter notebook over here. So cool. And also you can also check how to use Spotify. I think it has a document. Yeah. So this is the documentation over here. So you can read about how the whole Spotify works. You can see that from import Spotify, you need to import the authentication. That's more of like credentials, right? So Spotify talk to your Spotify API. That's what people are using the developer accounts. And this just gives you, okay, these are the process you need to go about it to get the data. This one is trying to print an item, the item which is here. So it's just very cool. It's very easy and straightforward to go along with. It's not something very complex to use. And they actually have a very, very nice documentation. So I'll go back to my Jupyter notebook. So I need to run this now. I will say, okay, import Spotify. That's the library I'll be using to communicate with my Spotify API. From Spotify.authentication, import Spotify client credentials. I need a credential, right? And I'll get my pandas for data manipulation and also my time to pause the loop. So I'll run this, right? So next thing now, you remember when we created our developer account for Spotify, it had client ID and my secret ID. You can come here, you can see I have my client ID over here. I need to show my secret ID. So what I will do now is, so when you input this to your client ID and secret ID, it asks you for your credentials, right? So the client credential manager. So you just try around like and create a variable around it. So what I will do is, I can see there's a chart somewhere. Okay. Gloria says she can't see my screen. Is it that for everyone, or just only Gloria? Please, if you can see my screen, just put I can see your screen. Okay, Trav says she can see. So Gloria, I will advise you. Can you just leave and join the meeting again? What about that? I think maybe it's the network. So try leaving and joining the meeting again. It will be faster that way. I'm very sorry for the inconvenience. Okay, let me see. Okay, cool. Thanks. Okay, so the next thing I need to copy my client ID and client secret, right? Okay, I think I'll just blur this part when I'm doing the real presentation. So this is my client ID. I've already copied it out somewhere. Copy my client ID, paste it inside here. I'll take my client secret, copy this, and I'll paste it. I created a variable called client credential manager and SP stands for Spotify to just verify the client. So I'll just run this. Right, so cool. So next thing I need to do, I need to create like a playlist. So I told I'm a big fan of Afrobeat. So I'll just create something around the Afrobeats playlist. So I'll click around this. I'll click on this link. So it'll take me to my Spotify account. So you can either open a paid Spotify account, you can put a free Spotify account, right? But my friend to follow along, I'll just copy this and send to the group chat also. Cool. So now I have this is my playlist. I've created a playlist. It's all about Burna Boy. So I just added all Burna Boy's song he has ever released from day one till date. So I'm using Burna Boy. I'm actually a big fan of Burna Boy. So that's what I like using. So if I create a playlist, very easy. Just come here. You can see the create a playlist. Yeah, right. So you just click on it, create a playlist. So what I did now, I added all Burna Boy songs from Love Damini to the Grammy winning award, Twice as Tall, to African Giants, to Outside, like all these albums he has ever released. I added everything here. So what I need from here is actually the playlist ID itself. So I come here, so you can see this button over these 3 dots, which means more. I'll click on these 3 dots. I'll go to share. I'll go to copy link to playlist. So I've copied that. We'll just paste it down here, right? So you can see the playlist ID, which is over here. Because I copied this one here. That's the same thing that is here. So if I copy this, still the same thing that is in this side here. I see that the same thing. So what I did. So what you're going to do now, you have to create a function to get the track ID, right? So for the track ID, also it's just very, very simple stuff you need. So to get the track IDs now, the name of the playlist is, I named it Temidayo. His name is Temidayo. You can see the name Temidayo over here. And the playlist ID, that's what I've already copied. You can see if I send you this link to my open playlist, you can see the ID here. This is my playlist ID. So which I've already copied here. This database help me get my playlist ID. So if I run, right, it's of time to load. It's gonna come up very soon. It's now connected now. You can see it has connected now to my playlist, right? So I've also given a description of how you go about it. From the three dots, go to share, copy the Spotify URL link. Okay, so next now to get the number of IDs that is there, that's the number of tracks that there. So if I run this, it's giving me 66. That means I have 66 tracks inside of my playlist. So all Burna Boy album from day one till date, I have 66 track there, and it's also giving me what the ID, each track, the ID. So I can see all the each track. You can see the ID, that individual ID is also inside here, right? Which is very cool. So I'll just give you some things I want to get from the all tracks, the individual tracks. I can see there's a message. Let me check. Oh yes, it's being recorded. Yeah, Enoch is recorded. Yeah. So now for this one now, right? I want to get some specific information, things like name. So the name basically is the track name. That's the name of the track itself. So you can like all those Burna Boy songs, and actually okay, for the album, right? The individual albums. For the artist, that is the artist name, which is I'm actually using Burna Boy. For the length has to do with duration. So duration is usually in milliseconds. So you can either convert it to seconds, you can convert it to second, but the length for this one is in milliseconds. The release date tells you when the song was released. So it gives you, I think it gives you only dates. Yeah, that's the year, month, and day. For popularity, so popularity tells you how popular the song is. So it goes from the range of 1 to 100. So the closer it is to 100, the more popular it is. Aestheticness talks about the confidence measure of the song. So from 0 to 1, so it's more like a decimal number. So from 0.0 to 1. So most time you can do it in a percentage. That's from 0% to 100%. Anyone you prefer using. Danceability. So danceability talks about the variable music components such as tempo, rhyme, stability, beat strength, different thing. When we talk about danceability, the beats, the vibes, and everything to the song. Energy talks about the intensity and activity. So energy basically range between 0 to 1. Instrumentation talks about all the instrument, the OR. So there's so many cool features about the instrumentation. The liveliness identify whether the song is listenership in record. So that means if it's listenable or not. Tempo talks about just basically experience tempo. So it's more like a beat per minute, right? So it gives you about beats per minute. That's more like tempo. And lastly, the valence talks about describe overall music positivity of the tone, right? So those are the key features I'll be getting, right? So the features are more like the f of x. And I'm sure most of you that do a little bit of linear regression, you have f of x equals to y, right? So function of x gives you y. So the input gives you the output. So these are all the input I'll be getting. I'll be getting all these variables. All these my f of x. So the things I'll be getting from here now are, so I have it in two categories. First of all, I have the first category in meta. Okay, first us the Git link. I've actually posted it on my GitHub. So when you go there, please, you can always come here and fork it. You can always copy it, FRK. You can always come here, copy it, and please give me a star, please. Don't just go and, so I'll copy it again. I'll put it on the group again. Paste it again. Okay, cool. So the next thing I want to do now, right, I want to get all these variables. I want to get the name, the album name, the artist, the release date, the length, the popularity. So this one are under metal. So the features now, so feature talks about the song itself, like all the key features of the music itself, the individual tracks. So they are talks Artics is next, sorry. The danceability, the energy, instrumentation, liveliness, loudness, pitch, tempo, valence, and time signature, right? And after that, I'll just need to also run this. So it's actually created a function, I also created a function to get track features also. So I'll just run this. So I'm not writing the code from scratch because of it's a presentation, and well, just an hour presentation. I don't think everyone want to stay with me till the end of today. And I'll start debugging. The next thing I have to do now to create a data frame. So in my data frame, I want to have the name, the album, artist, and some other each column headers, right? So data frame is what we call data table in Excel or in SQL, like the structure of it. So the data table. So I want to get the data frame. They call it data frame in Python. So I'll just run this, right? It might take a little bit of time to run. It's actually connected, so it's creating a data frame for me. So while that is going on, let me check if there's any comments in the section box. Okay, no comment, no comment, no comment. Cool. So someone asks, yeah, the section will be recorded. Okay, the section will be recorded, Enoch. Yeah, I will send you the YouTube link. Okay, someone hands is up. Let me make you a speaker. So I'll make you a speaker. So if you have a question, you can always raise your hands up. So you can speak, Bishop.
Yeah,
Bishop, you
hello,
can.
Temidayo.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Hello.
I can hear you. I can
Yeah.
hear you.
So, okay, cool, cool. So I just wanted to know that if that your Jupyter notebook link is available there.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
could you please could you please put it in the comment section so that we
Yeah,
can also access that one?
I've dropped it in comments like a couple of times. I'll copy this again. Can say I've copied this. I'll come here and I'll
Okay.
paste it inside here again. So it's in the comment section. I've actually dropped it a couple of times. You can see it. This is it here. This is it here. I've dropped it a couple of times. So it's in the comment section. So you can always go there and just copy it. But please give it a style, please. So let me check. Okay. Yeah, so it has loaded, right? So what I need to
Okay,
check.
cool, cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you so much.
yeah, you're welcome. So what I want to do next now to check the column name, the column header, right? So these are the different column header, right? So I have the name, I have the album, I have the aesthetic, I have the release dates, the length, popularity, danceability, and all those. So these are the different columns. So I want to get the info. So info tells you the data type is either an object, an integer. No, it's a text. Sorry. And it tells you about the object, which most times is a text. The integer, which is like a numerical variable. So that's integer 64. You have the floats also. Float most times are usually decimals. So let me get the shape. So shape tells you the number of rows and columns. So I have 64 rows. So it's 66 rows. That's 66 tracks. Remember, I have 66 tracks. So I have 66 rows and 16 columns, right? So let me check. Let me look at the first 50. Let me look at the first 50 of all the tracks now. So I'll do this df.add 50, right? So it's all just give me the first top 50. So these are the first top 50 of all the tracks, right? So let me now save it as a CSV file. So let me just save it as Burna Boy album presentation. Presentation. Okay. So I'm saving it as a CSV file. I'll run this. And also I also added reference. So these are the reference I used when I was writing the code. So you can also check out some of the reference. These are different. I can see I have the Spotify developer accounts here, the Spotify documentation, the GitHub, some other blogs on creating a Spotify analysis, right? So after that, right, let's now go to the visualization part. So we're done with the whole extracting part. That's this section 1. So section 2 now has to do with the visualization part. So let me just copy this. Come in. Copy this. Okay, cool. So okay, first thing I have to import NumPy, which is from numerical data, pandas, which for data manipulation, matplotlib for visualization, seaborn for visualization, plotty is also for visualization. So for this one, I think I use more of plotty because it has more so they call it plotty dash bash or something like that. Plotty bash, yeah. So I don't know, I feel like I prefer using panel most times, but plotty is actually also cool itself. So the import, I don't think plotty came as a pre-installed library inside of Jupyter Notebook, so you have to install it yourself. So let's just check it. I'll go to my Google. I'll say pip install plotty, right? So if you're doing for the first time, you just come to all these parts. I'll copy this. I'll go to my my command prompts. Let me just exist it. Install it already. So I'll copy install plotty, right? Okay, so I can do Python. Just run it. Just copy this. Don't mind, I'm actually very lazy when it comes to coding. Okay, I just like okay, run this. Okay, you can see now, no issue. It's working perfectly well. So no issue. So now I can run this. Voila, cool, right? I can also run this, right? So I can see the file I saved that was Burna Boy album presentation. So I want to bring it back in. So you can see that this unnamed ratio 0 is not really, it has to do with the index. It's an indexing issue. So just drop it. I don't need that part. So I'll drop it, right? So let's just get the shape again. Does the same information we did, get the info. So I don't get the describe. So describe just basically gives you all the statistics of the data. So you just give more of the stats. So I also did describe.transpose. So transpose changes it from horizontal to vertical. I just change the positioning, right? So I have the number of counts, I have the mean, standard deviation, minimum, 20%, 50, 70, and max, right? So it gives you the length. So this one has give you the description. you should also give you the more of like the statistics of the data. So for the length, popularity, danceability, stochastic energy, instrumentation, liveliness, loudness, pitchness, tempo, variance, and time. Okay, cool. So I want to check if there's any null. That's if there's any blank. It's give me all 0. That means there's no blank column. So these are the columns I have, right? Cool. What I need to do now to get let's start creating our visualization. So the first I want to do, I want to sort. I want to sort my data based on my popularity. So I want to know, okay, now I have 4 different albums, right? I have the Love Damili album, I have Twice as Tall album, I have African Giant, I also have Outside. So I have 4 albums, 66 tracks. So I want to know, okay, out of all those tracks, which one is the most popular out of all the tracks? So what I need to do now, I'll just sort. So I did a sort. I'm sorting the way you sort in Excel or other BI tool. I'm just basically sorting. So you do sort value. I'm sorting by popularity in ascending order. I made it false, right? So it's going to give me. I put ascending order false. That means it's not going to give me what descending order. Descending means what from top to bottom. Run this bottom is giving more. Is giving what. So you can see that so which one is more popular? Last. Oh, cool. So last is popular. You don't care. Last. Everybody go chow very fast. Okay. So you can see last is very popular here, right? So last is very, very popular. So it has the highest popularity, yeah, out of all the songs. So from last, you can see that the next one is For My Hand. For My Hand, that's the one that Burna Boy featured a Sharon. It's actually very popular in UK. But last is actually very, very, very popular. It came out first, so it's actually a very, very big deal. Followed by It's Plenty, yeah. It's Plenty is very, very popular in Nigeria. It's Plenty is even popular than For My Hand in Nigeria. But this one I'm doing Spotify worldwide. So for worldwide now, last is more popular, followed by For I think that would made it go a little bit further, like make it big. You can see Plenty, different size featuring Vitonic. Cool. I think everything is just Love Damili. Wow. So even the previous album did not even make it. That's sad. Okay, I think yeah. I know Yeah was very popular that year. Yeah. An African Giant. That's on the low. Okay, cool. So that was just it, right? So I've sorted by popularity. So I want to get the correlation matrix. So correlation matrix, I want to get how I want to know the relationship between 2 or more variables. So that's just get the correlation matrix, right? So I'll just run the correlation matrix. It might take a little bit of time. Okay, cool. I have no question so far. Okay, no question so far. Okay, I guess everyone is going along with me. So now you can see I have the difference, I have the length, I have the. If you look at this now, right, you can see that I have 7 points. I have 70%, that's 7.0, 0.7, that's 70%. If you look at it now, there's a high correlation between the loudness and what? And energy. Yeah, it's making sense, right? It's making sense. Because why? If a song has enough energy, that means it's actually a loud song. Like, you know this metal, yeah, all those metal songs. They have a lot of energy in it. So I think that's what makes it has a lot of higher accuracy there. So that's very cool. Another thing, if you look at the ones that are not really that are very, very negative, let's look at this one now. You can say I have a -5. Let me check it out. So -5, that's for danceability. Danceability against what is here? Against pitch. Yeah, it's making sense. You can see that most songs that there's a lot of dancing in it. They hardly have speeches. That there's really low amount of speech. Yeah. Okay, let's see for tempo and danceability also. I think the same thing too for tempo and danceability. So there's not much correlation between both of them for tempo and danceability. That's interesting. That's very, very interesting. Cool. I think the one that has a very high correlation is loudness and energy. I think that's the highest correlation so far. Which other one? I think that's the one that's highest. Rest of them is just 1%, 10% each. Okay, that's cool. So I can scroll down. Let me just run this. Gives me the head. So I want to get all the release dates, right? Okay. So I want to do a new data frame. Okay, cool. Okay, so what I want to do now to now do I want to group by now, right? So I want to group by the danceability by year. What I want to do now, I want to do an aggregate, right? So the aggregate is going to be what? The release years. each of the release years by the aggregate, which is the mean of the danceability. So now for each year, I want to get the average of how danceable they are from when it's still started getting released from. So if I run this now, you can see that from 2018 AdWords, the danceability was 0.7 to that 72%. So it has been dropping, So now you can see for 2020, there's not really much danceability. That's just 68%. So let me now check, okay. Let me now create a line chart, right, around this. So line chart basically gives you trend. So most of when you are doing any data that has to do with trend, any visualization has to do with trend, usually I would advise you to use a line chart. So line chart are standard for trend. So if you look at this very well, right, I can see that, okay, each release here, I have different danceability. So the danceability I'm getting is what the one I've created here, because I've already created what the name of the data frame is called what dance. I've created a new data frame called what dance F data frame, which I put here as my data frame is dance data frame. So if I come here now, you can see that, and that's one cool thing about plot, it gives you the label. Normal Matplot LIB doesn't writing further codes to get label, or by now our panel gives you label also. So plotting badges, that's a thumb up for plotting badge. So you can see for the year 2018, I have like the danceability is 0.72. For the year 2019, danceability is 0.74. For the year 2020, danceability is 0.746. Cool. For the year 2022, the danceability is 0.68, which is also not bad. So let's now do, I want to now do another variable now. I'll create another variable. So that's popularity variable. So I want to do based on the release year. I want to now know the average. I want to do another aggregate. So most time for people that write a lot of SQL, you do a lot of group by, or if you use Power BI, aggregate is called, you can either group by from the Power Query, or you can use the summarize function in DAX. Yeah, cool. So if I run this, right, it's going to give me the popularity for each of them by the year. So you can see that in the year 2018, I have a popularity of 34%, which is quite low. For the year 2019, 34. Okay. So for the year 2022, that's the one that just came out this year. I can see that it's 57. So most times, I would still tell you that you can't compare the amount of usage of Spotify software in 2018 compared to now. I know more people are using Spotify as that standard music play software than them using it in 2018. So you can't really compare that. But still, if you compare the popularity, this is the popularity Spotify API is giving us. So let's just create like a bar chart from this. Right, so in the bar chart you can see Burna Boy didn't release any album in the year 2020, 2021. That was last year. Didn't release any album last year. So you can see for the popularity for the year 2018, that's 34%. For the year 2019, that's 39.68%. For the year 2020, that's 37.8. And for the year, oh, what did I just? So, okay. I think I did something. Okay, just go back. I did something. I don't know what I did now. Okay, I think something like. Okay. What I'll do, I'll run it again. Okay. That's funny. I've not seen that before. That's like the first time I'm seeing that. That's cool. I will look into that later, but it's very strange. I don't know what I actually did there. Well, okay, so you can see that Burna Boy didn't release any album in the year 2021, which is also very cool, right? So let's now do another aggregate. So let's group again. So let's do by album by popularity, right? So if I run this also, you can see the individual popularity. So I'm actually sorting by the album now is sorting by from African Giant to Love Dominate to Outside to Twice as Tall. Love Dominate, which just came out like last month, has still been the most popular album. And one cool thing about it is that for some of you that are into visualization, like dashboard, like building dashboard with Excel or building dashboard with Power BI or Tableau, this is like a project you guys can work on, right? Since I've shown how to, you can just use that data to build like a visualization around it for future reference. Anyone that you guys prefer using, and it's very cool. So you can see I have my x-axis and my y-axis. My album is my x-axis, my y-axis is my popularity. So how to get the correlation now? Let me check if there's any question. Okay, no questions so far. So for the how to get a scatter plot? So scatter plot basically gives you the correlation between two variables, right? So how to do a variation? How to do a correlation? Sorry. So scatter plot gives you the correlation between two variables, most time numerical variables. So you can't do scatter plot between text and numbers. It don't really work. So you use scatter plots between two numerical variables to get the correlation relationship. Like most time, you get the relationship between two coefficients, right? I'm beginning to mix the definition right now. So if I run this, right, you can see that I'm kind of get the correlation between energy and loudness. I remember when I did my correlation metrics, I had a lot of, there was a lot of, if I scroll back up, you can see that there's a lot of correlation between loudness and energy, right? So let's go back to my scatter plot, which is also for correlation between two coefficients, loudness and energy. You can see that it's almost a straight line because there's a lot of correlation between them. You can see the loudness and energy, right? It's so nice that you can see that there's a very, very high chance of correlation. You can see if I draw my straight line, right? I can see that there's some data here, there's some data in all this place. So there's a very, very high rate of correlation between all of them, which is actually very cool, very, very cool and amazing, right? So these are for the data analysts, data scientists right now in the house, in the building. Okay. I have to check, okay, for the aesthetic and pop. You can see there's not really much correlation. So if I say, okay, popularity and aestheticness, let's check it on the correlation matrix. Let me go correlation. Aesthetic and what was it again? Aesthetic and what? Aesthetic and popularity. Okay, aesthetic and popularity. Aesthetic and popularity. Popularity and where's aesthetic now? Okay, aesthetic, yeah. Popularity. Aesthetic. You can see that is -0. You can see, right? So there's no much correlation. There's no correlation at all between these two, right here. So there's no relationship at all between both of them. Another thing is you can also come and the definition for aesthetic and let's check the definition again. So if I scroll up again, remember I gave you the definition of each of them. I said for aesthetic, where is the aesthetic now, right? It tells you the confidence measure between 0 and 4. So for popularity, so there's not really much the confidence doesn't really deal with the popularity. You can see that they're not even the layman definition, there's not really much correlation between both of them. Let me scroll down back again. Okay. Okay, let's see. Let me do another group by how do we have a duration, right? So each duration by year, duration by year. So you can see the duration now by year. By the duration is in milli seconds. You have to convert it to what seconds. So let me now analyze for only minutes. How to filter now? So I said okay for the album equals to so you filter the data, right? So now love damage DF. So there's only 19 tracks. So it's giving me 19. Cool. Let's check the popularity. So the total albums in love damage. Let's check the one that has the most highest popularity. Now let's check. Last is goes for 6.7. Ed Sharon, the one he featured Ed Sharon. Don't you fold my hands. That was, I really love this song a lot. It goes for 6.66, so it's actually good. It's above average. The average is meant to be 50, so it's above average, which is actually nice. For last is 67. Cool. Okay, we trying this one. That's plenty. As Amy Trevor, yeah, it's actually very, very cool. So that's 64. For Vitonic, different size. Yeah, Vitonic. That was actually very popular. Let's see one that didn't really do well. That's Dirty Secret. Let me keep my secret. I don't really like this one actually. Solid. I actually like Solid. Yeah. Lady Smith. Not really. This was the intro. So I think yeah, even the analysis is actually because of the ones I actually like are actually topping the list, which is For My Hand. If you need to listen to For My Hand featuring Ed Sheeran, it was amazing. The one he featured that Plenty was actually topping Nigerian African playlist in Apple Music. It was actually topping in Apple Music. I don't know. I'll try and compare the Spotify API with Apple Music one of these days. I'll try and do my research on it one of these days and see. But I don't know if anyone has done any projects regarding Apple API. Okay, for the last actually have a very high popularity, which is very, very cool, right? So let's check the energy. So this one I did each track. So for this was his recent album. When I first did this was his recent album called Love That Millie, right? So all the track in Love That Millie, I did all the track there by the popularity. So that's what I want to do now. All the track by what's the energy. So if I look at the one that has the most energy, kilometer. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, kilometer. Yeah, it has a very high energy. It's true. It has a very high energy. Different size. Yes, it also has a very high energy. 0.75. Yeah, almost one. Has a very high energy. Science. I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of science. Roller coaster. Yeah, definitely. Everything is actually correct. Yeah. I'm actually liking this because the analysis is even making sense in my own ear because I listen to a lot of the song itself, so it's making sense to me. So now let's check danceability, right? So for the danceability, now you can see that some songs are highly danceable. Science, okay. I'm not really a big fan of science. Kilomi, yeah. Okay. For my hand, I definitely love that song. Roller coaster, I also love that song. It actually has a lot high level of danceability. Jagili, yeah, Jagili. It's actually giving me good memories. I actually love all of this, all of this. So that's how you analyze um Spotify API with Python. So I think I'm done. I'm done for the um presentation. But for now, what I'll do now, I'll copy the GitHub link again for some of you that paste the GitHub link over here. I'll run it. So if you have any question, you can put it in the chat box or you can raise your hand. So any questions so far? So I show you about our next we have another section by 6. So any question before I enter this section? Any question? If you have any question, any suggestion, okay, please do a recap. I joined late. Oh, okay. That's Taiwo. Okay, but Taiwo, the recording will be made available. So the recording will definitely be made available. I'll send you the link for the recording very soon. Just give me a second. So I'll stop sharing my screen. Just few more minutes. Okay. Okay. So the recording for this session will be made available on our YouTube channel. I'll do a recap very soon. Just let me share the recording for this session. So recording will available. So this is how you use the Spotify API to analyze your favorite artist. Also, you can also we also have online courses for Excel, Python, Power BI. You can check it out. Okay, so let me I'll share my screen and I'll tell you about the next session which will be having by 6 p.m. Okay. And thanks everyone for coming. So our next session by 6 p.m. we're having a SQL Server and Power BI, a match made in heaven. Okay, that's very cool. So I'll copy this. I will put it here. So for some of you that might be interested, it's going to be starting by 6 p.m. and it's going to be taken by Andrew James, very, very popular guy on LinkedIn. He'll tell us how to use SQL, that's SQL, Microsoft SQL Server with Power BI. So for what's the person that asked for the recap again? That was Taiwo. So Taiwo, let me do a recap again. So I'll share my screen. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. Okay. So the first thing I did, right, was I created a developer account. I created a developer account here, right? So you go to create a developer account. You create a developer account. You have two things. You're going to have the secret key. So when you create a developer account, you have to install the Python the Python library for Spotify, which is Spotify. So when you install that, you do your pip install. So it's from your Jupyter notebook. If I say go pip install Spotify, right? So this is going to install You don't pip install Spotify inside of your Jupyter notebook. So it's still the same way, or you can use your command prompt, anyone you prefer using, right? So when you install that, you need to now, okay. So now from there, you have to now you create a function to get the track ID. So the track ID, what I now did, I created a playlist in my Spotify account. So the place I did, I added some songs inside. The songs I added what? All of Burna Boy's, because I'm trying to analyze Burna Boy's songs. I'm a big fan of Burna Boy. So I'm analyzing all Burna Boy's songs, right? So I keep for me to get the IP, the playlist URL link. I click on these 3 dots over here. These 3 dots, I go to share, I go to copy playlist link, I come back here and I paste it. This is the same thing here. This actually is here, right? I paste it here. So what I basically need, I need the playlist ID. This is the playlist ID over here. So we just copy the playlist ID and I'll paste it here. So I'm getting the track name and the track ID. The track name is what? Temidayo, which is, you can see the name here, Temidayo, and the that's my name, Temidayo. I'm actually Temidayo. And the track ID, I've already pasted track ID, yeah. So what I need to now do now, get the number of lengths and each individual tracks, the ID also. So I have 66 tracks with the ID. So I'll get some features. I said these are the features I got. I got the name, the album, the artist, the release date. These are the features I want to get from the individual tracks. I'll get the name, the album, the artist name, the release date, the length, the popularity, aestheticness, danceability, sorry, energy, instrumentation, liveliness, pitchness, tempo, variance, and all other things. So I'll create a function to get each of these features, right? So I'll get the features are divided into 2 parts. I have the meta, I have the features, right? So the meta gives me things like the name, the album artist, that's the artist, the release date, the duration, which is in milliseconds, and also the popularity. The features give me the features of the songs. First are aestheticness, danceability, energy, instrumentation, liveliness, loudness, pitch, tempo, variance, and time signature, right? So what I now did after that, I now created a for loop that loop through, and also while looping is also going to create if a data frame. So data frame is what we call the data like the data table. I say less than 10 minutes more. The data table in Python. Got the column info, got some other things. I saved the file. So this part is the visualization part, right? So imported a library, dropped some variables. I did a transport to get the describe. So describe gives you the statistic information about your data. I also check if I have any null or not, which I have no null value column. So I was checking for popularity. So what I did, I sorted the data based on popularity in what descending order. Because you can see I put ascending false. Because if I want to do from ascending, not to do what from the lowest to the highest, but I want to do from the highest to the lowest. That's in descending order. So when I did ascending, I made it false. So you don't give me what from the highest to the lowest. That's in descending order. So that's what I did here. So you can see that from based on popularity, last is as the highest popularity, followed by for my hand is plenty, and which is actually true because they're very, very popular. So I tried getting the correlation, the relationship between each of the features. So I did the correlation matrix. So you can see from the correlation matrix, the loudness has a very high correlation with energy. So if the song has enough energy, that means it's actually a very loud song by itself. Got some so I filtered for only the years. I created a visualization for release dates by danceability, right? I also created a by year. So I see the one of 2020, that's the one I just released, which is Love Damili, is the most popular song. I create a group by, more like aggregating. Did visualization. I just also did a scatter plot to get the correlation matrix between 2 variables, which is loudness and energy. They have a very high correlation together. I also checked for aestheticness and popularity. You can see that there's not much correlation between these. The release years, so each of the release years and the average length. Remember, the length is in milliseconds. You have to convert it to seconds, or you can leave it in milliseconds if you're comfortable using milliseconds. I don't know if you prefer using though. So I now filtered for only Love Damili, and I got some key features from there, like the popularity. So each of the popularities, right? So I have the individual popularity. So each song with a popularity, you can see that last has the highest popularity. Also based on energy, I can see that kilometers are a very high energy. Based on danceability, I can see that science has a very high danceability. Yeah. And I think that's all. Yeah, I know there is science a lot on TikTok. Maybe I'll analyze TikTok data one of these days. But that's all. That's all. So any questions so far? Cool. No question. I should assume there's no question, right? So I'll stop the recording right about now. Stop recording.